this is really important. And this is really the key, okay? Because that information is public. There you can learn some things about it. But how the government buys what you sell is extremely critical. This is the linchpin, the cotter pin, one of the main keys on doing business with the government. And I'm going to give you a real life example. This happened when I first started doing this in consulting, and I actually took out a company. We met with a government customer. We started explaining to them what that company can do. And the government customer was really impressed. They said, wow, okay, yeah, that definitely sounds like you understand our problem and then you could solve it. And so you basically checked all the boxes. Then she started to ask us questions such as, hey, are you on this contract? So our answer was no, we weren't. Well, are you on that contract? No. Well, do you have this certification? No. Well, you know what? I can't even buy it from you. So the point was, you just wasted my time, is what she was trying to tell us. You should have done that first. Because once you do that, once you find out how I actually buy what you sell, and you prepare yourself accordingly, so that when I am interested in what you have, it's easy for me to buy it from you. Emphasis on easy. So what you want to do is, the government deals with a lot of bureaucracy, right? There's a lot of red tape. So if you can remove a lot of that bureaucracy and a lot of that red tape, guess what? You start becoming an attractive option. So they may say, well, wait a minute. Since you're set up just this particular way, the way that we prefer and recommend, then we may not have to bid this thing out. Wow. So what does that mean? That basically means that if they bid it out, they may get 20, 50. I've seen some proposals or some bids out there get hundreds of proposals. Well, do you think that's going to be competitive? Do you think your margins are going to be anywhere near reasonable for you to even win that contract? No. But let me ask you this question. What if there was no competition? How much margin or profit do you think you can make? Now, I'm not talking about gouging the government. Not at all. We do ethical business always with the government, specifically the government. But now, instead of me having to make 1% profit or maybe even negative profit, now I can make myself 10, 15, maybe 20% profit and more, depending on what it is that you do. So that's why it's very, very important to understand this particular piece of the puzzle. Like I said, this could be a complex puzzle, but if you know these things, then the puzzle is not as complex. And this was one of the key techniques that we learned in corporate America when I was a sales rep, that when we did this, they're like, oh, great, you just made my life easy now. So you know what? I'm not even gonna compete this thing. I'm not even gonna bid it, because you checked all the boxes. You made my life easy. I can just give you the contract. It's a beautiful thing. It really, really is. This differentiates you from the majority of the companies. So the majority of the companies out there, when they first start reaching out to the government or trying to sell to the government, they don't know this. The government tries to tell them this, but then they don't know how to go about doing it, or they don't understand it. Well, how does that? What do you mean how you buy it? Don't you go by bids? Not necessarily. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So it's very, very important. I'm spending quite a bit of time on this slide because it's very important.